What's up, weekend wandering fam? It is Saturday, so it has been a week since we came home from Gulf Shores. So I've got to work on getting this camper cleaned, reorganized, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our trip. Okay, so first let me just show you what kind of mess I have going on back here. Look at all this stuff, just everywhere. So one thing that I am doing this weekend while I am cleaning out the camper and cleaning it up from our trip, I'm also reorganizing things and working on some modifications and planning in my head for some modifications. As I am getting into the cleaning in here, let's talk about the first thing that I have modified so far this morning. This storage that's under the passenger side of the dinette. It came as just one big wooden piece with one hole, and it was a pain in the butt to get out of here. So first thing, we cut it in half. So all I have to do is lift up this one side and empty things out. So for the trip that we did down to Gulf State Park, we were there for 6 nights. So for traveling, what we did was put our shoes under this. And I really wanted to keep the shoes in there and just work out of that area the whole time, but that was a nightmare. So we did not do that. We ended up pulling out all of our shoes, and they sat in this spot under the table, and it was a mess. So we gotta work on that. So one of the things that I'm going to figure out, I'm probably going to store things in here that we don't really access that often, at least for the time being. I'm also considering actually maybe putting like a partition in the middle here or something, and we can store some things back here that we don't ever really use, and then right here be able to store shoes or whatever, and then have an access hole right here. But I'm so happy we cut this in half. And if I need to, I don't really know why I would, but, you know, taking that piece off, and then you can just slide that to be able to reach back there if you need to. So like I said, we stayed at Gulf State Park in Alabama, Gulf Shores area, for 6 nights. Loved it. It was amazing. We were in Site 33, which was on the water, on the lake. And I would definitely stay there again, or I would book Site 35. That one looked even better. So, we did a lot of bike riding. They have, I think, 28 miles of trails within the state park. We did not have our e-bikes before this trip, though. We tried ordering them in hopes that we would get them right before we left, but we didn't. So we had regular bikes, and then Johnny and I a couple of times rode a tandem bicycle when his mom didn't want to ride. But it was such a good time. We had mostly good weather. We did some paddle boarding, went to the beach, the pool, out to eat a lot. I gained 10 pounds. Hooray! So now I gotta work on getting that wrapped back up. So now let's talk about how we used this storage space and everything up here. First, I'm going to put this back up. You like the hole in my pants? These are my working pants. So for these cabinets, you know, when we travel, this is where the table and the table leg stays. But once we have the table set up and Cricket all set up, this is just kind of where we threw random stuff, extra snacks and food, and I think some extra towels we threw in here. And then right here I have a white basket that has like a hair dryer, a curling iron, and things like that stayed in there. So that's about it on that, which I think I don't even know if I styled my hair at all while we were down here. It was great. Now, camping in this camper for 6 nights is the first time we've done that. As I've mentioned in videos before, we are a weekend warrior, so we're usually only in this camper for 2 nights at a time. So it was definitely a different experience, but it was fine. It was great. I enjoyed it. We are outdoorsy people, so we don't mind spending a lot of time outside. The only challenge that we really had was cricket. So, you know, usually when the dinette table is set up, that is just overtaken by cricket. His perch is set up there, so he sits on the table, or he likes to sit up here, and I usually have his little mirror because he is very vain. So usually his mirror sits up there and he sits up there, but he'll eat and go potty on his perch that sits on the table. So that's the only thing that kind of makes things a little crazy, is we're losing the dinette. Whenever we do want to eat inside because there's bad flies or maybe it's raining, we'll just move his perch over to the bed and shift things around. But I do want to get a lagoon table mount for the table. That way we're not having to work around the table in the middle. I think I'm going to mount it to this side. That way I can kind of move it all out of the way and we can still have access to all of this. So that is one change that is going to be coming either by the end of this year or early next year. Want to do it. It's like $200. Okay, so I went ahead and set the table up so I could kind of go over how things were going down here. So I have my little trash can and it sat under here. We had Johnny's protein and everything with us, so that was shoved over here in the corner. And then all of our shoes ended up sitting piled right here. And I didn't like it. So I need to rework some things with that. And then sometimes our laundry basket that held our dirty laundry was out here whenever the floor in the bathroom was drying. Like I said, I really think I'm going to invest in the lagoon table mount. That way we're not having to deal with this pole right here, and we can easily move the table out of the way if need be. It has to happen. Another thing too about doing the lagoon table mount is maybe I can get away with not having to use the cabinet up there for traveling with the table. Maybe it can travel sitting in the stowed away position. We'll have to see how, easily it moves. But that's a thought, so we can use that storage space for maybe more food and stuff. Because I'm going to get to how I use the kitchen area and how I'm going to kind of reconfigure some things. So one thing I'm debating on with the refrigerator is actually removing the freezer. We've only used the freezer a couple of times, and I think it should be easy to maybe put back in if we ever need it. But that would give us some more refrigerator space. I mean, there's not a lot of room in here. So that's that. So this drawer under the fridge, I currently have games in here, duct tape, extra fuses and trash bags. So I got a couple of ideas from Couch Potato Camping. Thank you, Kimberly. And I think I'm actually going to take everything out of this drawer and use it for something else. I think that I can get better usage of this drawer. The only things that really get grabbed out of here very often are maybe the duct tape, these little hook things that I use to hang lights on the awning, and then a tape measure and the trash bag. But everything else I'm going to store under the kitchen sink. I'll kind of show you what I've got going on under the kitchen sink currently, and just her genius idea. When I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. It's brilliant. So, can't wait. And the games, I'm thinking I might put them either up here in this cabinet, that one right there, or I'll store them under the dinette. Me and Johnny don't ever really use them when it's just us camping. We only will get them out if it's like me, him, and his family, or we're camping with other people that want to play games. But we got Sorry, Yahtzee, that's my Sudoku book, Uno, and then a regular deck of cards. So let's talk a little bit more about Gulf State Park. If you have never camped there, I highly, highly recommend it. It's beautiful. I mean, I would have been very satisfied spending majority of our time there and maybe only going to the beach a couple of times. So where our site was located, again, we were in Site 33. we could ride our bikes down to the end, like where 470 and all those are. And there's a trail and a boardwalk that takes you to the beach. So a few times we rode our bikes to the beach. That was a lot of fun. And it'd be even easier with e-bikes. So you absolutely have to take a bike if you go stay at Gulf State Park. You have to. It is a requirement. Whether you have an e-bike or a regular bike, like we enjoyed ourselves just fine on regular bikes. You do have to watch out for alligators and venomous snakes. Mostly venomous snakes. We never saw alligators or venomous snakes around our site. We only saw one venomous snake. I think it was a copperhead. It was a baby. I mean, it maybe was this long. And we were biking back to our campsite. I didn't even see it. Me and Johnny were on the tandem bike and we were just trucking it. And then we hear Kelly screaming behind us. And we stopped and she's like, "Did you see the snake in the middle of the road?" So naturally, I want to see all the animals. So we turned around, went back, and I was like, "Oh, yep, it's a venomous snake." And he was just like stunned in the middle of the road because he just had 3 bikes race past him. And so we were like, well, let's get him out of the path. That way nobody runs over him. And he never tried striking or anything. He was very, very scared. But once, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think that he could tell that we were trying to help him because he eventually just kind of like was like, okay, drag me to the grass. And he slithered on his little way. So precious. So you do need to watch out for venomous snakes. And the only time we heard an alligator, Kelly and I were paddling. We paddled from Middle Lake up through a little canal to the small lake. And on the paddle back, we heard like a growl. It sounded like a daggum dragon. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, nope, I didn't hear that. And then Kelly was like, Ashley, did you hear that? I was like, shit, yes. We never saw it, but it sounded ginormous. So we paddled back. We had so much fun there. I definitely would like to go back again, but you have to book far in advance. Whenever we booked that trip, we booked it in January, and the trip was for the end of September, and there were only 2 spots left. I've already tried looking for next year because we talked about going down in the summertime and taking our niece and nephews, and they're already booked. There's nothing available for the amount of time we would want to go down. So you gotta book ahead of time, unfortunately. Okay, so here's what I have going on right now for storage under the sink. I have our fan that travels under here, the dehumidifier, which is right there. That usually is stored under here for travel too. I have a little pop-up outside trash can, some extra toilet paper, borax, and then I have some other cleaning stuff that I store in that basket. But you see there's so much unused space. And then I have some extra command hooks in that little bag. So, the idea that I got from Couch Potato Camping, she actually used 2 milk crates and stacked them one on top of each other and stored them under here. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put things that I'm rarely ever going to need in the bottom one, and then extra toilet paper, cleaning stuff, whatever I can in the top one. So I'm excited. Alright, so this is all I have in the bottom one right now. I have the duct tape. This is the little prop thing I use to hold up the bed if I need to access under there. The extra fuses, these are for stuff. And then some like little pop-out fans, things that I have yet to touch since being in this camper. And then in this one, got extra toilet paper, lighters, borax, which I actually need to fill up, trash bags, extra sponges, just cleaning stuff. I need to put Clorox wipes in here, but they're outside right now. And then the hooks and stuff for the lights on the awning. And this is another idea that I liked from Couch Potato Camping. Is that basket taller than that one? It sure is. So for our trip, we used this drawer down here for clothes and then all 3 cabinets. which this cabinet was not totally full. There were like 2 or 3 things in there. This one was pretty full, and then that one was partially full. But I like what she said, and I think that I heard this correctly, but she puts her clothes in these and then just either sets them in the bed or moves them to the dinette, I guess, when it's time to go to bed. I was like, that's a good idea. You know, we could definitely still use these, but I really like this idea if you don't want to have to crawl on the bed to get to your clothes. And then you just move it back and forth. I could definitely see, you know, just storing the baskets right here. We don't ever really need that many clothes anyways, but so I like that idea. And that could also free up this drawer down here. For the beach trip, since Johnny's mom went, we didn't have to worry about cooking anything. So we were able to use part of this as like our bathroom cabinet. So this side was all bathroom stuff, and then this side was our snacks that we like to take. So I'd either like to do that again, or if we need to store snacks up here, what Kimberly did is she used this drawer for bathroom stuff. And I was like, that's a good idea too. So lots of great ideas from her. I appreciate you, girlfriend. I do. But I love reorganizing and stuff. You wouldn't think that looking at my house. But yeah. Oh my gosh. I already like that so much more. I do. And I could store so much more stuff in there too, because there's still plenty of room in both baskets. So, yeah, girl! Now, if you have a Soul Horizon or any kind of camper with a wet bath and you have enough room, I recommend getting one of these pop-out hampers. Let's see if I can do this with my... So, see? And then, as long as the bathroom is dry, we just put it in there like that. And there's still plenty of room. And whenever we need to use the wet bath, we just pull it out. I need to get this tray out of here. We use this outside between our new rocker chairs, and I loved that. But we'll just kind of shove it under there like that, and it's still out of the way. Alright, wrapping this up on Sunday. We are getting ready to head into downtown Athens to ride our bikes. Got distracted yesterday when I was recording, go figure. But thanks so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it wasn't a great, you know, vlog of what was actually going on at Gulf Shores as it was happening, but hopefully you got a good little idea. Just to wrap it all up, you gotta stay at Gulf State Park at least once. One thing I want to try sometime is beach camping, either with the camper on the beach or where it's pretty much like you walk right to the beach right there. It's at the campground. So if anybody knows of anything, you know, up in the northern Florida area, you know, going for Gulf mostly, but let us know. Give us a comment below. Recommend a good beach camping area in Florida, in the Gulf area. I know there's some awesome places down in the Keys, but talking Johnny into taking the camper down to the Keys probably won't be happening anytime soon, but there you go. Thanks so much for being here.